Hi there and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's dive into today's top stories. £45 million Arsenal player could now miss the rest of the year with injury in a huge blow for Mikel Arteta. Arsenal could be set for a major blow over the winter period, with the news Thomas Partey could be ruled out for much longer than expected. Partey has been missing for the last few weeks and was expected to be back in time for the run-up to and including the festive fixtures. However, according to a report from the Mirror, Partey could actually be missing for longer, with a return in January of 2024 not being ruled out. The Ghanaian midfielder has suffered a number of injury problems since signing for £45 million from Atletico Madrid. Indeed, Mikel Arteta has been unable to use Partey alongside Declan Rice as much as he'd like this season. Partey's injury could well force Arsenal into the market in January. There has also been speculation over his future, with the clubs in Italy said to be keen on him. This has been a bit of a nightmare weekend in general for Arsenal after losing at Newcastle and then seeing Mikel Arteta lose his rug. The club is now coming in for criticism for releasing a statement attacking the PGMOL. Now, adding an injury to Partey into the mix is just more bad news for the Gunners. Partey's time with Arsenal has been riddled with these sorts of problems, and for all how good of a player he is, it's frustrating for the Gunners how often he is out. Declan Rice was signed not just to replace Partey, but to play with him in a solid midfield. If he is indeed out until January, then that's half the season gone for Mikel Arteta. Arsenal need to get a hold on this sort of thing. Partey can be a key player for the Gunners, but he needs to get fit and get fit quick. Mikel Arteta now told he's made a huge error with £30 million Arsenal player. Mark Schwarzer believes Mikel Arteta has made a massive mistake with his goalkeeping options at Arsenal. Schwarzer has been speaking to Optus Sport and reflected on Arsenal's disappointing 1-0 defeat at Newcastle on Sunday. Much has been made of Arteta's decision to drop Aaron Ramsdale for David Raya over the past few weeks. The Spaniard has made some costly errors in recent games, and his positioning for Anthony Gordon's controversial winner was questionable. Indeed, Jamie Carragher criticized Raya over his starting position after Joe Willock's cross went over his head. Now, Schwarzer claims Arteta has made a real mess of the goalkeeping situation at Arsenal. Speaking on the Optus Sport podcast, the former Fulham goalkeeper raised concerns over Arteta's treatment of Ramsdale while reacting to the Arsenal boss post-match rant. He said, "It's one of the things, isn't it? The manager, players, everyone makes mistake, and they are making mistakes every single week. Unfortunately, for a lot of managers, they won't admit it, right?" Mikel Arteta is a great example of that. Let's not go there with the goalkeeping position because he's made a massive mistake there. But yeah, I think it post-match press conference was bizarre. Ramsdale had barely put a foot wrong before losing his place in the side following the 3-1 win over Manchester United in September. The £30 million goalkeeper was a key man at Arsenal last time out, but it's clear Raya is the preferred choice at this stage. That's largely down to the Spaniard's superior ability with the ball at his feet, but he will surely come under pressure sooner rather than later if he continues to make mistakes. Schwarzer makes a great point that Arteta has created a bit of an unnecessary problem by bringing in Raya. While he must feel the former Brentford man is an upgrade on Ramsdale, it's created a lot of noise around the goalkeeping situation. You get the feeling that one of Raya or Ramsdale will be on the move at some point, as neither will be happy to play as a backup. Dermot Gallagher has theory over why Kai Havertz wasn't sent off versus Newcastle. Dermot Gallagher has now been sharing his opinion on why Kai Havertz wasn't sent off for Arsenal against Newcastle United on Saturday. Gallagher was talking on Sky Sports Ref Watch and explained that the decision was right on the borderline. The former referee thought that Havertz only remained on the pitch for his side because he missed Longstaff's first leg. Gallagher did think the tackle was reckless and thought Arsenal's Havertz was fortunate to miss the first leg of the Newcastle midfielder. He said, "If he had got a red card, he couldn't argue, but it's quite ironic how the law here has written itself. This reminds me so much of Kovacic against Arsenal when he was right on the cusp of getting a red card. I think he was fortunate. The referee has given him the benefit of the doubt here. It's reckless, but he's caught him with the wrong foot luckily here, because if he catches him with his first foot, I don't think Longstaff would be getting up. Luckily for him, he also arrives low. If he was sent off, I don't think he'd have any complaints. I'd bag the referee with a yellow card, I think that's what saved him. It was his trailing leg. If it was first leg, it would be a red." Of course, during Gallagher's thoughts on this fallout, both Newcastle and Arsenal are now preparing for midweek Champions League games. Newcastle travel to Dortmund today, and Arsenal play host to Sevilla the following night. Newcastle will be well aware that Dortmund chipped 4 goals against Bayern München on the weekend, including a hat-trick for Harry Kane, and Arsenal's opponent Sevilla ended up pursuing a late draw against Celta Vigo on Saturday. Sky Sports Pundit can't understand why Mikel Arteta didn't start £32 million player versus Newcastle. Stepan Warno has questioned why Arsenal boss Mikel Arteta decided against starting Alexander Zinchenko against Newcastle on Saturday. Warnock has been speaking on Sky Sports, and he feels Zinchenko would have given Arsenal more control in the game. Mikel Arteta was left furious after Saturday's 1-0 defeat at James Park due to a controversial Anthony Gordon winner. The Spaniard labeled the decision to award Gordon's goal a disgrace, but despite the fallout after the game, Arsenal weren't at their best on the day. Indeed, the Gunners struggled to break down a resilient Newcastle side and lacked creativity without the likes of Martin Odegaard and Zinchenko in the side. And while Odegaard was ruled out with an injury, Arteta opted to play Takahiro Tomiyasu over Zinchenko. Now, Stephen Warnock has questioned Arteta's decision to drop the Ukrainian. Speaking on Sky Sports, Warnock suggested Arteta may have opted for Tomiyasu due to playing Jorginho in midfield. He said, "I think it was very interesting at the weekend why Zinchenko didn't start. Was that a knock-on effect that Jorginho is in there, so he doesn't have the pace to then drop into the left-back position and cover? When Zinchenko plays, he dominates the ball in midfield, and he is very brave with getting on the ball, and that's where they dictate the pace of play. Zinchenko hasn't been at his best this season, and Tomiyasu has put in some impressive display of late. While Zinchenko would have provided Arsenal with an extra man in the middle of the park, it's easy to understand why Arteta left the £32 million man out of the starting 11. Tomiyasu provided the Gunners with more stability defensively, and that was high on Arteta's priority list ahead of a difficult trip to James Park. Nevertheless, Arsenal do look more fluid on the ball when Zinchenko is on the pitch, and that is where they were lacking on Saturday. Jamie Carragher urges Arsenal to sign £80 million player, says he could win them the Premier League. Arsenal have been urged to sign a new striker by Jamie Carragher and specifically make a move for Brentford's Ivan Toney. Arsenal are one of the clubs being linked with a move for Toney. The big striker is due back in football in January after his ban, and Brentford are thought to be open to selling for around £80 million. Mikel Arteta has had some critics for spending so much on Kai Havertz and not buying a striker. And with Tony set to be available, Sky Sports pundit Carragher has said that Tony is the man Arsenal need to potentially win the title. Speaking on MNF, Carragher urged the Gunners to make their move on Brentford. He said, yes, he could. He is a different type of striker, and I'm a huge fan. But that question make a jump to a big club is, can he deal with the pressure and the scrutiny when he goes a few goals away? But to take Arsenal to the title, I think Arsenal might need to take that chance, if I'm being totally honest. But if they don't fix that position and the goalkeeper, I think it's going to be very hard for them to overhaul Man City. Tony is wanted by a number of clubs, including Tottenham and Chelsea, but there has been talk of a move to Arsenal for some time now. With Euros coming up in the summer of 2024, Tony will know full well he needs to be playing regularly and at the highest level he can to make the England squad. Of course, with Gabriel Jesus the main man at Arsenal, Tony might find it hard to break in and be the number 9. However, Jesus can also play wide, and there is no doubt Tony can give Mikel Arteta that added option. Big money will be needed, but if Arsenal are in the title mix, then it might well be money well spent. Gary Neville calls out Arsenal for dangerous statement after VAR controversy. Gary Neville has criticized Arsenal Football Club again after they backed Mikel Arteta after his passionate rant against the PGMOL on Saturday. The Spaniard was furious after Newcastle were awarded a goal against his side, which he deemed to be embarrassing, and Bruno Guimaraes avoided a red card for a strike on Jorginho's head. The following day, Arsenal Football Club released a statement backing their manager, labeling the incident as yet more unacceptable, refereeing and VAR errors. A lot of pundits have delivered varying opinions in the aftermath of the incident, including Neville, who has been very vocal about his disagreement with the statement. The former Manchester United player spoke out again on Sky Sport, labeling Arsenal's statement and Liverpool's previous one as dangerous. He said, I thought the statement was really poor. Liverpool had a shocking one against them few weeks ago here, and we knew it was wrong. There was a feeling they had been hard done by. A day after, when Liverpool wrote the statement with the suggestion of reply, I thought, to be fair, that was quite dangerous. The Arsenal statement is also quite dangerous. All clubs signed a new behavioral charter, and I'm not saying referees shouldn't be put under pressure, but clubs themselves should definitely behave better in these circumstances. I'm looking at the Premier League and leadership in the Premier League. The reality of it is they have to start protecting referees. I was in favor of transparency at the beginning of it. Arsenal winger wins gold medal at Pan American Games. On Saturday night, the Brazil under-23s took on Chile in the final of the Pan American Games, emerging victorious to earn gold medals for their country. Arsenal's Marquinhos is currently on loan with Nantes, but he took a break from his loan to play in the tournament with Brazil. Marquinhos didn't start the final, which finished 1-1 before Brazil won 4-2 on penalties, but the Arsenal winger did manage 3 assists in 3 games earlier on in the tournament. He certainly earned his medal. Marquinhos started all 3 games in the group stage of the competition, playing 74 minutes against the USA in a 1-0 win before providing an assist against Colombia in a 2-0 victory. The 20-year-old was in the starting lineup again for Brazil's match against Honduras, setting up 2 goals from corners. Brazil topped their group with a perfect record, winning 3 games, scoring 6 goals and conceding none. They then defeated Mexico 1-0 in the semi-final before that penalty shootout win over Chile. Marquinhos will now return to Nantes, but it remains to be seen how long he stays with the League One side. Recent rumors have suggested another January move could be on the cards. Manager backs Arsenal 20-year-old Lowney after red card. Swansea City's head coach Michael Duff has backed Arsenal loan Charlie Patino to learn from the 2 yellow card he received in the first 20 minutes of the recent match against Sunderland. Despite the setback, Duff remains optimistic about the 20-year-old's development. He said, "He has been good, Charlie," dismissing any suggestion that the player's recent media attention has affected his performance or attitude. According to Duff, the experience will be valuable for Patino. He said, "We will go through it. The red card, it's part of his learning. If you give referees to make, I don't think either was a yellow card ultimately." There has been speculation about Patino's future, with reports linking him to top-tier clubs, including AC Milan, following his promising start at Swansea. Duff, however, is keen to focus on the player's growth. He said, "He's had a lot of headlines this week in terms of a bit of noise and things like that, but he's been flatlining in terms of his own ego, keeping it in a check and not getting ahead of himself. It's why he is here. Different experiences. Arsenal want him to have these experiences with different teams so it doesn't happen when he is playing for them. It's why we have players out on loan." Patino, who is on a season-long loan with Swansea, will miss the team's next match against Ipswich Town due to a suspension. However, Duff has confidence in Patino's character and commitment to improvement. He said he knows where he wants to be, but he is prepared to work every day to get there. This will be another part of his learning. Inside, he will feel like he has let the team down, but he hasn't let the team down. He's made a couple of mistakes, but it happens. We talk about togetherness and the way the players have got him out of the muck, so the headline isn't "Charlie Patino cost the team points" or "Jamal cost the team points by missing the penalty." The team stuck together. As we wrap up today's Arsenal news, remember to stay tuned for daily updates right here on the channel. Don't miss out on the latest updates, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like if you found this information valuable. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.